Namaskaram. Today we have among us Comrade Subhashini Ali, CPM Politburo member. Welcome to Q18.
Thank you.
Lok Sabha elections are about to begin. What do you feel when you come to Kerala from Uttar Pradesh?
No, it's not a question of Kerala or Uttar Pradesh. These elections are going to be very important for the whole of India, and I think that it is very important to defeat the BJP, because our experience over the last 9 years have been that their policies have been very, very divisive, and not only that, they have actually increased poverty, increased unemployment, and I think their foreign policy, there's a lot to criticize also. But for me, as someone who's working in the women's movement, the most shocking thing is the way in which they are seen repeatedly as a government at the center and in their governments in the states to be protecting rapists, to be protecting those who are accused of violence against women, and not doing anything actually to protect the victims.
It's time for BJP to look at Ayodhya in a big way. How can you judge it if you are in Uttar Pradesh?
I don't know. I can't predict how people are thinking. People think in different ways. If they see a viable opposition, they very often vote for it. After all, there's not only one issue that affects them, there are so many issues. And poverty, health issues, hunger, and the fact that girl children are being taken out of schools, poor children are not getting scholarships, all those are very important issues also. So by all of us going on and on talking about one issue, whether it's you or whether it's anybody else, it means that we are also engaged in this whole game of highlighting just one issue at the expense of very important issues that affect people's livelihood.
So that will be remain as their claim only. That
I am not saying what will be their claim or not be their claim. I cannot speak on their behalf. What they claim, what they do not claim, that's up to them. I can only say that we think that there are very, very important issues on the basis of which the BJP must be defeated.
they are aiming at religious votes. So you think this communal agenda is always working in Uttar Pradesh or not?
No, it doesn't. Why should it always work? I don't think it will work. And again, I'm saying that I don't know why I have to reply to questions from their point of view, from the BJP point of view. These are questions you should ask the BJP, not me.
I just want to know about the Uttar Pradesh scenario right now. Deep movements against Muslim community is still going on, or the government is conducting any campaign?
See, the
movement like that even
now. The whole point
now.
about the BJP's policies are that they are against the poor. They are against 90% of the population. They are against women. And of course, they are also against the minorities. But they are also very much against the Dalits.
Okay.
The Dalits are facing the greatest kinds of oppression and atrocity in the last 9 years. In fact, even the Crime Bureau says that the violence against women is increasing, violence against Dalits is increasing. So while the BJP tries to use its anti-minority programs to try and mobilize the majority community behind them, it's also a fact that they are not sparing anybody that is poor. They are not sparing the Dalits. They are not sparing the Adivasis. Look at the budget today. The budget in the social sector has gone down. Spending for Adivasis, SCs and STs, which last year in the budget they did not even spend all that was allocated. 30% of the allocation was not spent. This year also they are not making any increased allocations. So in many of the states, even the scholarships to SC and ST students is not being paid. So these are very big issues.
Still BJP is saying they have come up with a Dalit president.
They may say that, but the way they behave with her also, we don't know how much respect they have for her. And the point is not making some symbolic gestures, but what are you actually doing for tribals? On the one hand, the BJP is actively working to divide tribals on the basis of religion. They are trying to say that those that have become Christians should not be given the tribal status anymore. They are completely ignoring the atrocities committed on tribals in Manipur. This has been going on since the 3rd of May. Tribal women were stripped and handed over to mobs. Nothing has been done. The BJP has not intervened at all. In fact, things are getting worse in Manipur day by day. Yesterday, they arrested the first tribal chief minister, elected chief minister. So all these things have to be considered when you talk about their policies regarding tribals and scheduled caste people, Dalits in this country.
But still, Narendra Modi is still the star campaigner.
So he is the Prime Minister of the country, the leader of the BJP. Let him be their star campaigner. What is the problem? I'm not going to decide who their star campaigner should be. They will decide.
Opposition should be having somebody to point.
Opposition
like
has
that.
got a different way. We are not in power. We don't have a Prime Minister. Obviously, different states, different people will be the main campaigners. After all, somebody coming from Uttar Pradesh cannot become the main campaigner in Kerala. So every state, different leaders will be campaigning, but the campaign will be a common campaign against the BJP and its policies.
But what is happening to the opposition front? All the fallouts, all the disputes in the INTA alliance have come out.
BJP is arresting the opposition leaders. BJP is using ED. Not a single person who defects from the opposition to the BJP is prosecuted under the cases that are initiated. So naturally, this is having its own effect. But that doesn't mean that there is no opposition to the BJP. There's a huge opposition across the country, and the people who are in the alliance or in the bloc, they will have to do their best to mobilize this anti-BJP mass.
You are the first one among who challenged the remission of the culprits of Bilkis Bano case. Did you ever expect such a verdict?
No. The thing is that if you believe that people with human beings are there in this, human feelings are there in the Supreme Court and in other places, then obviously you will expect them to behave like human beings, and that's what we expected. No person who has any human decency left will support the remission of those 11 rapists and murderers. And that is why I say people should make up their minds. Who are they voting for? The Gujarat government, the central government, did everything in its power to protect those 11 rapists and murderers. So if you support Bilkis Bano's fight for justice, if you are celebrating today that some justice was done, then you also cannot support the BJP government and the central government, because they did everything in their power to keep those culprits out of jail, to call them sanskari Brahmins, to celebrate their release and to use them in the Gujarat campaign. How can you support both? You cannot say I am a supporter of justice for women and I am happy that Bilkis Bano has got some justice, but also I support the BJP. You cannot support both. It's just not possible. If you have any human feelings left, you have to understand what the Supreme Court said in its judgment. What did the Supreme Court say? On what basis did they send those 11 people back to jail? They said that one of the accused, Radhe Shyam, and the Gujarat government committed a fraud on the Supreme Court. They hid facts from the Supreme Court. The Gujarat government went beyond its jurisdiction in granting remission, and the government of India, the Home Ministry, gave its support or gave its consent to this granting of remission. So what is the Supreme Court saying? They're saying this was a grotesque and barbaric case. This was a crime against humanity, and it is saying that the Gujarat government and then the government of India did everything in their power to protect these criminals, not just after giving them remission, but from the day that they committed the crime. If you read the whole judgment, they have said that the Gujarat government was complicit with these people. So who was leading the Gujarat government at that time? It was Mr. Narendra Modi. He was the chief minister. What happened? Here is a woman who has got all the proofs of having been gang raped. She recognizes the rapists and murderers because they belong to her own village. She records her statement before the district magistrate, but the FIR is not filed. The bodies of her family members that are lying dead, they are not sent for a post-mortem. Nothing is done to arrest these people. The Gujarat police closes the case, and Mr. Narendra Modi was the chief minister at that time. Are we not going to remember these things? And then what happens? That case, it's there in the Supreme Court latest judgment. It had to be transferred to Maharashtra because justice was not possible in Gujarat. So justice for a victim of gang rape was not possible in Gujarat under the chief ministership of Shri Narendra Modi. That is what the Supreme Court is telling us. Why don't we want to listen to these facts? Why don't we want to see what is happening? Then what happens? The Maharashtra CBI court sentences these people, not the Gujarat, after 8 years. And then they are repeatedly given parole. They spend months out of jail. And it's not only them. Please don't think this is a single case. Ram Rahim, who has been convicted of rape and murder, is repeatedly given parole by the Haryana government. He is allowed to go to his ashram. He is allowed to hold meetings. BJP leaders go and touch his feet because they want his help in elections. So what does it mean? The government, what is its role? It is supposed to be protecting the victims. It is supposed to be protecting those who were raped. It is supposed to be fighting for justice for those who have been murdered. But it is doing exactly the opposite. It is giving the murderer and the rapist regular parole. Why? Because they think it may help them in the elections. What is happening in the wrestlers' case? The women wrestlers, they are now nowhere. And the person who is accused, Brijbhushan Saran Singh, he continues to be a BJP MP. He has not been asked to resign from his Lok Sabha seat. He is not being in any way prosecuted by the BJP government. The police are saying this is a prima facie case against him. But nothing is happening. And then you're saying they're attacking the opposition. Supposing he had been in the opposition, his house would have been bulldozed by this time. So obviously they are doing everything in their power to use all their agencies against the opposition, but also to protect their own rapists, their own murderers, people who support them. And in Manipur, what have they done? The Chief Minister, Prime Minister said, we will not spare these people. The Chief Minister said, we are going to hang them. What have they done? How many people have they arrested? How many people have they sent to jail for that horrible crime that was committed against women over there? And why is the rest of India not concerned about it? Isn't Manipur a part of India? Are those women not our sisters, not our daughters? What has happened to us? That we are not trying to even sympathize or empathize with victims of horrible atrocities.
In spite of all this, BJP won
Yes, so
the
I would
elections.
say, why? Yeah. Because what has happened to the media? Is the media giving any space? Has the media talked about those Manipur victims? Did the mainstream media report the Bilkis Bano case till the judgment came? No. Did the mainstream media bother about the Hathras victim and her family? What is happening to them? A Dalit girl was gang raped by 4 people from her village, and the chief minister said, no rape has taken place. After she died and she gave a dying declaration, then they were sent to jail. Now the court has said 3 people are absolutely innocent, let them off, and no rape took place. I want to know, you are living in Kerala, a horrible incident took place in Idukki, where a 5-year-old child was possibly raped and killed. And the prosecution did not present the case or do the proper investigation. Government of Kerala has done what? They have suspended the investigation officer and they are going to file the appeal. But none of you bother to ask that why didn't the Uttar Pradesh government file an appeal in the Hathras case? They have not filed an appeal. That poor family that is left penniless, not even able to work, they are the ones who are responsible for filing an appeal. They are the ones who have to go to the High Court in Allahabad and in Lucknow. Is anybody talking about them? The media is silent about all this, so people don't know anything. Neither is it reported in the papers, nor is it coming on the electronic media. And then you say, oh, people are not doing this, people are not doing that. If you are not doing your duty of informing people about what is happening, what is the truth, what are the atrocities that are being committed, what are the sins of omission and commission of these BJP governments, if you are not performing that role, what do you expect ordinary people to do?
Still, NDA government is telling that we don't have ministers, there is no corruption cases, no allegations against ministers in the ministry.
No, but that is not true. So why should you quote them to me? You should be telling me how many corruption cases are there against them. You people know more. Why don't you tell me and tell your viewers how many corruption cases there are against them?
And they are claiming...
And what about the people whom they've taken? Till yesterday, Nitish Kumar was the most corrupt man. They were saying he has done this scam, he has done that scam. There's Jangal Raj, today he has become a hero. Today he is a knight in shining armor. The Ajit Pawar was the most corrupt man. Now he is a wonderful man. So, you are not talking about them.
Maybe this is all Ayaram, Gairam, whatever it is.
No, I'm not talking about Ayaram, Gairam.
About Nitish.
I am talking about corrupt people who are taken by the BJP and then all the cases against them are removed and they are presented as heroes. This is what BJP is doing.
What will happen to the INDA alliance, India alliance? What will happen to India?
India alliance will continue. Already we knew that in Bengal there are going to be differences. That's okay. BJP will not benefit from that.
And Punjab
in
is
Kerala
also.
No, Punjab, I don't know. There's still talks going on. Kerala also, we don't have, the BJP is not the main factor here. So, in the rest of India, people will come together against the BJP. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, coming to the Kerala, do you think that left in Kerala is well doing in ensuring women representation?
They're trying to do as much as they can. I just told you about that Idiki case. They have moved against that person who is the accused in that also. And now they are going to appeal also. So at least whatever is legally possible, maybe you can say they should do more. But you cannot accuse them of not trying legally to help in these cases.
How much women representation and women politics in Kerala is left well doing to ensure that?
No, everybody knows in the whole of India that women are enjoying in all the different criteria the highest status in Kerala, whether it is maternal mortality rate, whether it is infant mortality rate, whether it is sex ratio, whether it is not being hungry, whether it is being beneficiary of the Kundapashri program, whether it is getting access to social welfare pensions. In all these respects, Kerala women are far above the women in the rest of India. There's no doubt of it. Even the central government, whenever it is giving awards, always Kerala is getting the award. In education also, and we know that from the very beginning, the left has always given a lot of emphasis on women's education, girls' education. They were the first to benefit from the free uniforms, from the free ships earlier. Now, of course, government education is free and the government schools are doing better than the private schools. So there's no doubt about it. It is there for everybody to see.
It reflects in politics also.
Yes, you have young women mayors who are activists, who are not, just some family members of some leader. It is there everywhere. MN and RGA workers, they're getting pensions here. They get a rest time also. We have gone to the sites and seen.
But then, why then Kerala has not had a women chief minister at all?
That you have to elect more women. And you will get one, no doubt about it.
Again, this reservation.
See, the problem is this, that you cannot fight only in one state as far as representation of women in Lok Sabha and Assembly is concerned. Now, the BJP government has brought this so-called act, and they have linked it. Women's reservation has been linked to when the census happens, when delimitation takes place.
And the credit goes to their pocket.
No credit. Why should they? It's a fraud. They have been accused of fraud and they are guilty of fraud. They don't get any credit. Where is the women's reservation? So unless that becomes a reality, now you're seeing at the panchayat level, at the BDC level, huge strides have been made by women because they have got that reservation. And in Kerala now, there are more than 50% women in most of the panchayats and most of the blocks and in all of those areas where there is reservation for women. And they are becoming mayors and they are becoming Zilla Parishad presidents and all of that.
BJP is having huge hopes on Kerala this time, especially in Thrissur and even in Trivandrum. We don't know the...
Well, people in Kerala have to decide, as I said, what do they want? Do they want to become like people in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh? Do they want that kind of law and order situation? Do they want to lose their pensions? Do they go and find out what are the pensions being given to women in Uttar Pradesh? Go and find out what they're getting from the ration shops. Are they getting rations? Please go and find out. Please do a story on this. Please do a comparison between Kerala and the other states. Are they getting free health care? In my village in Kerala, it's a small village, there are 2 palliative centers. The panchayat has got hospital beds and oxygen facilities, X-ray. There are doctors, there's a district hospital nearby. The ladies who are working there, they are BPL, they are suffering from cancer. They travel free on the train to Thiruvananthapuram and get free treatment for cancer in the government hospital. People in the rest of India cannot dream about this. So if people in Kerala have to see what are their conditions of life and what are the conditions of life in other parts of India and take a decision. It should be an informed decision.
Still,
So the media in Kerala has got a very big responsibility to tell people of Kerala what is happening in other parts of the country.
In 1920s, Communist Party and the RSS came into existence. Communist Party is confined to one state, but the RSS is spreading
as far
all
as
over
government is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been ups and downs, but the fact is that the RSS, you see, when you have a divisive agenda and you have got no lack of funding and you are able to create voters on the base of religion and get the majoritarian votes, all of that helps. We cannot follow those kind of tactics. We have got a completely different way of functioning and a different way of approaching elections. So it's not the bigger surprise is that the CPIM continues to exist in India. That is the bigger surprise. And we should appreciate that.
So generally, what are the hopes for this Lok Sabha election?
The hope is that BJP will be defeated and India will be saved. That is what is necessary. And women should come out in the largest numbers and vote against them because they have completely destroyed the status of women. They have destroyed the safety and security of women.
Okay, let me get into some personal questions also. A daughter of a colonel and a captain, how did Subhashini join the Communist Party and joined politics?
No, I didn't join because of my mother. I joined because of the anti-imperialist struggle that I was involved with when I was a student in America. The war in Vietnam was going on, and after that I got involved with some leftist groups, and then I decided to come back to India and I joined the CPIM. My mother joined after me. But of course, my parents' lives were very inspiring, and they sort of must have at somewhere in my mental makeup, one must have felt that one should also do something for society. Of course, I cannot do what they did, but trying in my own small way.
I still remember you have played as the mother of Shah Rukh in Ashoka. Movie is still part of her life?
No, I've never even seen it. My son was the one who sort of forced me. He was the assistant, he was trying to get into films at that time, and all this happened with Santosh Shivan and all that, so then he really pressurized me. Then that time also I was not that interested. Anyway, I did whatever I could do, and I have not even seen the film actually.
I have read that you have done costume designing for Umrav Jan also.
That's because I worked free, I was still married to the producer-director at that time. But I quite enjoyed doing that. It was an interesting experience. Not only Kosovo, I did so many things. But that's not my real interest. It could have been, but not when I'm involved in a different struggle altogether.
As a cousin of Mallika Sarabai, dance also in your mind, no?
No, I can only appreciate it. I don't have any experience of dancing.
Let me wind up the interview by asking one more question about faith and belief. Do you think that Communist Party workers have to give up faith completely?
No, there's no such necessity, but a lot of them do. That's another matter. But there's no such compulsion of any kind. But the main thing is that you should respect other people's faiths. You're believing in something doesn't mean that you should hate people of another belief or attack people of another belief or propagate against people of another belief. That is very wrong.
Thanks a lot for sparing time with us. Thank you.
Thank you.